Welcome to Lakers News Fan Report, where you get all the latest updates and insider information about our beloved Los Angeles Lakers. Today, I've got something that's going to shake you to your core, something that represents a seismic shift in how we need to think about this franchise moving forward. Stay with me because what I'm about to share changes everything we thought we knew about the Lakers' present and future. There's a moment in every dynasty, in every era, in every legendary career where the torch gets passed. Sometimes it happens gradually, so slowly that you barely notice it, until one day you wake up and realize everything has changed. Other times it happens suddenly, dramatically, in a way that forces everyone to confront a new reality, whether they're ready for it or not. And right now, Lakers Nation, we're living through one of those transformative moments. I've been covering this team for years, and I've seen a lot of changes, a lot of transitions, a lot of roster moves that seemed impossible until they happened. But what's unfolding right now in Los Angeles is something I genuinely never thought I'd witness. It's something that challenges our understanding of what it means to be a Laker, what it means to be a superstar in this league, and what it means to build a championship contender in the modern NBA. Before I get into the specifics of what's happening, I need you to understand the context. The Lakers are currently 15-4. Let me repeat that, 15-4. We're not just winning games, we're dominating opponents. We're playing with an energy, a cohesion, and a level of execution that has the entire league taking notice. This isn't a fluke or a hot streak. This is a legitimate championship-caliber team playing at an elite level night after night. But here's where things get complicated, where the narrative becomes more nuanced than just celebrating wins. The success we're experiencing right now is happening in a way that nobody predicted, with a dynamic that's completely different from what we've seen over the past several years. The identity of this team has shifted, the hierarchy has been reorganized, and the future is being written in real time. Let me take you back to February of this past year. The Lakers made a trade that absolutely shocked the basketball world. I'm talking about a move that had analysts, fans, and even other teams completely stunned because nobody saw it coming. The Lakers acquired Luka Donic from the Dallas Mavericks in exchange for Anthony Davis. Yes, you heard that correctly. Anthony Davis, who had been our defensive anchor, our second superstar, our championship running mate, was sent to Dallas. And in return, we got one of the most talented players in the entire NBA. At the time, the trade was polarizing. Some people thought it was genius, others thought it was madness. Trading away a player of Anthony Davis's caliber, someone who had helped deliver a championship to Los Angeles, someone who was still in his prime, that's not a decision you make lightly. But the Lakers brass saw something in Luka Donic that made them believe this was the move that would set up the franchise for sustained success. And here's the thing, they were right. Luka Donic, at 26 years old, is not just good, he's transcendent. He's an MVP candidate, he's one of the 5 best players in the world, and he's playing in front of the purple and gold faithful with a level of brilliance that has people comparing him to the all-time greats. His basketball IQ is off the charts, his ability to control the tempo of a game is masterful, and his scoring versatility makes him virtually impossible to defend. But Luka isn't the only story of this season. Austin Reaves has emerged as the most surprising breakout player of the 2025-26 season. I'm not talking about a nice improvement or a solid step forward. I'm talking about a genuine leap into borderline all-star territory. Reaves is averaging career highs across the board. His decision-making has been impeccable, and his chemistry with Donic has been nothing short of spectacular. The Luka Reaves pick and roll has become one of the most devastating plays in basketball. Defenses simply don't have an answer for it. If you help on Luka, he finds Reaves for an open 3 or a driving lane. If you stay home on Reaves, Luka punishes you with his scoring. It's a beautiful thing to watch, and it's a big reason why we're sitting at 15-4 right now. Now here's where the situation becomes delicate, where we have to address the elephant in the room. For the first time in his 2-decade-long career, LeBron James is not the main man of the franchise he's part of. Think about that for a second. LeBron James, arguably the greatest player of all time, a 4-time champion, a 4-time MVP, the face of the NBA for nearly 20 years, is no longer the primary focus of his team's offense or identity. This isn't a criticism of LeBron. This isn't about him declining or failing or not being able to compete at a high level anymore. Even at 41 years old, even dealing with sciatica issues in his left leg, LeBron is still capable of averaging over 20 points per game. His basketball IQ is still elite, his passing is still exceptional, and when he's on the court, he's still making winning plays. The issue isn't capability. The issue is hierarchy. The issue is age and timeline and franchise planning. Luka Donic is 26 years old with potentially a decade of prime basketball ahead of him. Austin Reaves is 27 and just entering his peak years. LeBron James is 41 and, realistically, has maybe 1 or 2 more seasons left in his career. And here's the reality that we all need to confront. The Lakers are flying high even when LeBron sits out. Early in the season, when LeBron missed games, the team didn't just survive, they thrived. They won games convincingly, the offense flowed smoothly, and there was no sense of panic or desperation. That tells you something important about where this team is and where it's headed. Stephen A. Smith recently appeared on the Joe and Jada podcast and addressed this exact situation. Now, Stephen A. has had his disagreements with LeBron in the past, but his analysis on this topic was actually quite fair and insightful. He acknowledged that LeBron, even with his sciatica, can come back and still average above 20 points per game at age 41. That's remarkable, and it speaks to LeBron's conditioning, his skill, and his basketball genius. But then Stephen A. said something that's been echoing in my mind ever since I heard it. He said that if the Lakers had a choice, they would trade LeBron, not because of his game, but because of his age, because Luka is the future at 26 years old, because the franchise wants to build around young talent, not around someone who's 41 and likely retiring within the next year or two. Let me be clear about something. I have nothing but respect and admiration for LeBron James. What he's accomplished in his career is legendary. What he's meant to the Lakers organization, delivering a championship in the bubble, playing at an elite level well into his 40s, that's all incredible. But we also have to be realistic about where we are as a franchise and what makes sense strategically. The Lakers are currently in a position that most teams would kill to be in. We have a legitimate superstar in his prime in Luka Donic. We have a breakout player in Austin Reaves, who's proving he can be a high-level secondary option. We have role players who are performing well and fitting into their roles perfectly, and we have a 15-4 record that suggests we're legitimate championship contenders right now. The question becomes, how does LeBron fit into this equation moving forward? And the honest answer is complicated. When LeBron is on the court, he's still effective. He can still make plays, still score, still facilitate. But the reality is that Luka needs the ball in his hands to be most effective. Reaves has thrived with an expanded role, and the team has shown it can win without LeBron. This season, LeBron is expected to sit out many more games for load management. His sciatica has been bothering him, and at his age, rest and recovery become even more critical. Just this past Sunday, the Lakers beat the New Orleans Pelicans without LeBron, who sat out to rest his left leg. It was another example of the team functioning at a high level in his absence. So, what does all this mean for the future? Well, Luka Donic is the face of the franchise now. That's not speculation or opinion, that's just reality. Whether LeBron gets traded to another team soon or decides to retire as a Laker, that fundamental truth doesn't change. The Lakers are Luka's team now, and everything moving forward will be built around him. And you know what? I'm actually optimistic about that. I'm excited about what this means for our future. Luka Donic is special. He's a generational talent, and having him in purple and gold for potentially the next decade is an incredible gift. Austin Reaves, developing into a legitimate second option, gives us a dynamic duo that can compete with anyone. And if we can surround them with the right pieces, we're looking at multiple championship windows. Does that mean I want to see LeBron leave? Not necessarily. If LeBron is willing to accept a reduced role, if he's comfortable being the third option and playing fewer minutes, there's absolutely value in having him on this roster. His experience, his leadership, his basketball IQ, those are all assets that can help a young team navigate the playoffs. But if LeBron wants to be the main guy somewhere, if he wants to have the ball in his hands and be the primary decision maker, then maybe it does make sense for both sides to part ways. Maybe there's a team out there that's one piece away from contending and would love to have LeBron for a final championship run. Maybe that would be better for everyone involved. The other factor we have to consider is the business side of things. LeBron is still one of the biggest names in sports, and having him on your roster brings attention, merchandise sales, and national television appearances. But the Lakers are the Lakers. We're going to get attention and national TV games regardless of who's on the roster. And at some point, you have to prioritize basketball fit over marketability. Looking at our current roster construction, we're in a really good place. We have our franchise player in Luka. We have our emerging star in Reaves. We have solid role players who know their assignments and execute them well. Our defense has been better than expected. Our offense is humming, and our chemistry seems strong. Those are all signs of a team that's built correctly. The Anthony Davis trade, as shocking as it was at the time, is looking better and better with each passing game. Davis is a phenomenal player, but he was also injury-prone and getting older. Luka is younger, more durable, and arguably more impactful on the offensive end. It was a bold move by the Lakers management, but bold moves are sometimes necessary to stay ahead in this league. As we look ahead to the rest of this season, the question isn't whether we can win without LeBron. We've already proven we can. The question is how we maximize our championship odds with the roster we have. And that might mean having some difficult conversations about roles, minutes, and long-term planning. I want to be clear that none of this is disrespectful to LeBron. He's a legend, he's earned the right to go out on his own terms, and whatever he decides, Lakers fans should support him. But we also have to acknowledge the reality of the situation. The team has evolved, the hierarchy has changed, and the future belongs to Luka Donic. And honestly, that future looks bright. 15-4 is no joke. We're beating good teams, we're winning on the road, and we're showing the kind of consistency that championship teams display. If we can stay healthy, if we can continue developing our chemistry, and if we can make smart decisions at the trade deadline, we have a real shot at bringing another championship to Los Angeles. The beauty of sports is that nothing stays the same forever. Teams evolve, players age, new stars emerge, and the cycle continues. What we're witnessing right now is that natural evolution happening in real time. It's bittersweet because it means acknowledging that LeBron's era as the Lakers' alpha is ending, but it's also exciting because it means we're entering the Luka era with legitimate championship aspirations. So where do we go from here? I think the Lakers need to have honest conversations internally about what's best for the team. If LeBron is comfortable in a reduced role and wants to chase one more championship as a complementary piece, then keep him, and let's make this work. If he wants to be the main guy somewhere else, then explore trade options that bring back assets we can use to build around Luka and Reaves. What I do know is that we can't let nostalgia or legacy considerations cloud our judgment. The goal is to win championships, and we have to make decisions that maximize our chances of doing that. Right now, with a 15-4 record and Luka playing at an MVP level, we're in a great position. Let's not mess that up by being afraid to make tough choices. Now I want to hear from you, Lakers Nation. How do you feel about this situation? Do you think LeBron should stay with the Lakers in a reduced role? Or should the team explore trading him to maximize assets for the future? Are you as excited as I am about the Luka and Reaves partnership? What moves do you think we should make at the trade deadline to solidify our championship chances? Drop your thoughts in the comments below because I genuinely want to know how you're processing all of this. If you found this analysis valuable and you want to stay updated on every development with the Lakers, make sure you smash that subscribe button and hit the notification bell. Here at Lakers News Fan Report, we're bringing you the most in-depth analysis, the latest news, and the insider information you need to stay ahead of the curve. We're in the middle of a historic season, and you don't want to miss a single update. I'll see you in the next one. Let's go. Lakers!